Good Trouble Day of Action. It's called the Good Trouble Get Down because we will be having a whole block party taking place right there at the King Center in the National Park. So people can come out. We'll have different performers going out. We'll have some dances. We'll have music playing. We're supposed to be having some fans with Good Trouble on it. And we're supposed to be doing some boots on the ground. Now, I know everybody may not have their dancing shoes, but if you don't have yours, then you better get it now because I know I got mine. So we're going to have some fun in Atlanta. I'm really excited. We're going to have some fun.
Well, Barbara, and for folks that are hearing about these events, if they can't make it, Barbara, they can always join us by way of the national broadcast, right? And if you go to our Transformative Justice Coalition page, our Facebook page, it's going to be broadcast from there. We're going to be on our YouTube page from Transformative Justice Coalition. It's going to be out there, so you can join the national broadcast beginning at 6:45 Central Time. And which is what 7 o'clock, whatever, 7:45 Eastern time, and be a part of it that way. What else did you want to lay out there, Barbara?
Yes, I wanted to, Adrian, on your event, you're going to start from the mural at what time? Are you going to start that march?
So we'll be meeting at the mural at 4 o'clock, and from 4 to 4:30, really just kind of rallying around and getting people together, talking about a little bit of what we hope to achieve and really what the main goal of this event is. And so from there, at 4:30, that is when our march will start, and we'll go ahead and start moving towards Ebenezer, moving in unison all down that block, and then going into to our panel discussion.
And you know what's amazing, Adrian, is you've been working hand in glove with the mighty Helen Butler, one of the nation's foremost voting rights organizers in this country. She's the leader of the mighty Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, took over from, what we call him Smoking Joe Lowry, who everybody knows was an amazing, leader of the 1960s movement. And what has it been like? Because this is interesting. I mean, when I watch the meetings, there you are side by side with Helen, and she's deferring to you to tell us what's going on, to take over the meeting. Tell us what that's been like to work with her.
Honestly, it has been one of the greatest things ever. I was. The first time I got onto the call and I saw her on there, I had to calm down because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Miss Helen Butler. But I was very appreciative of the work that she's done. In fact, the very reason why I do the work I do is because she was a part of the fight that fought for me in order for my vote to be heard in Georgia 5 years ago when they were challenging absentee ballots. And so to know that I now get to work alongside someone who knows the importance of what this power is and has done the work and is training me on how to continue the work. It's nothing but a blessing. I'm forever grateful for it. I can't wait to see, what can come from this. I know this event is going to be one of many that we'll be able to do in the future. But to have this type of moment and to have this type of guidance in doing this, there's nothing like it. I'm forever grateful.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Dane, when you hear, first of all, before I get to you, Dane, Makayla, have you joined us? Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
I'm here.
There you are, my sister. There you are. Wonderful, wonderful. Makayla, we are so happy that you're on, and I know you are at that NAACP convention meeting with the other, college and youth leaders. Tell us, what has that been like for you?
Yes, well, first and foremost, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, TJC and the Igniting Change Show for having me on. It's always a pleasure. Yes, I'm speaking to you all from Charlotte, North Carolina, for our 116th NAACP annual convention that I've been attending. It's been incredible, honestly. Being surrounded by so many intergenerational leaders, organizers, and change makers from across the country, and even some from out of the country, it's been deeply affirming, and it's been healing and empowering. Being surrounded by those youth leaders, the elders, and the partners that are committed to civil rights and social justice. I've really been learning and networking and being able to represent Pennsylvania youth on a national level. It's only made me more fired up for what we're building with the John Lewis Day of Action. This year's theme is the fierce urgency of now, and I feel it's more urgent now than ever to get in good trouble and make sure that it lives on. So I'm fired up and I'm ready to work.
Tell
Makayla,
our
can you
national...
share with...
Yeah, go ahead there.
And Makayla, I know we know you're going to be heading up what's happening in Philadelphia. Can you share with us, why you decided to get involved in this John Lewis Day of Action and what Philadelphia is putting together?
Yeah, so honestly, with all the work that we have been doing at TJC Fellows, the question more so was like, why not get involved? Gen Z and millennials, we are, a very, very big voting base, and we are so passionate about what we do. There has been so many attacks on our democracy since January 20th, and honestly, the plan started way before that with Project 2025. I'm not sure if people were listening before, but we want to make sure that they're listening now. And there's no place better than, of course, the birthplace of democracy, Philadelphia, to really make sure that people are aware what's going on. Because everyone, honestly, I think they're waking up now. I think people are waking up now, but we really wanted to give people on the ground, our community, something honestly to be like. I want to say in Philadelphia, the main goal is to make sure that the community's voice is heard, that the people living these struggles every day, that they have the outlet and that they're able to come together with people to make sure that our rights are protected.
And you're having people meet at the city hall at the mighty Octavius Cato statue. Tell people, why you chose that site and why. And we know it's going to be amazing. You got all these amazing partners, including Indivisible. A big shout out to Indivisible nationwide for everything you're doing, 5051, all the Black Voters Matters, all the other great groups. But tell us, why the Cato statue?
Yes, so Octavius Cato helped recruit Black soldiers for the U.S. Army and presented the regimental flag of the 24th United States Color Troops. He made significant strides in helping desegregate Philadelphia streetcars with an act of civil disobedience. He fully immersed himself in the campaign to pass the Great Civil Rights Amendment. So it was only fitting that as a civil rights leader that advocated for our 15th Amendment, which guaranteed voting rights to African American men, that we would host this day of action at the Octavius Cato statue at City Hall. And thank you so much to Chairman Commissioner Omar Sabir, who's also a great friend of CJC, for making sure that that location was secured for us, because he oversees this as someone who, of course, is our local civil rights, leader, and making sure that our election is protected and things of that sort. So, honestly, I've been given so many remarks from people about how they're so excited and fired up to be a part, especially as it is at the Cato statue.
Wonderful. And I just want people to know that another part of his history, of Cattle's history, is that he was one of the first African Americans to cast a vote in Philadelphia after the 15th Amendment during that next election. And he cast his vote, and the next day he was shot dead. It was, that resistance to black progress in this country, to racial progress, that he, after all he fought for, that people, still have that kind of hate and resistance to black progress. So he stands for so much for men of amazing personal courage, just like John Lewis. So it's so appropriate. Once again, everybody listening, we are talking about the John Lewis, July 17th, this Thursday, National Day of Action under the rubric of Good Trouble Lives On. If you want to find an event, including the ones you've been hearing about, you're like, I'm in San Diego, I'm ready. I'm in Birmingham, I'm ready. I'm in Atlanta, I'm ready. I'm in Chicago, I'm ready. I'm in Philadelphia, I'm ready. How do I find this event? You can go to, come on, Daryl, let's do it. Good Trouble
Lives On .org. Good Trouble Lives On.
Yes.
And Barbara, I've got to ask Dane. Yeah, .org. That's right. I got to ask Dane over in San Diego. Dane, there's some parents that are listening to this broadcast. There's some high schoolers and college students listening to this program. Dane, why should they encourage high school students to step out on July 17th and become part of this action, Dane?
Well, I think high school students should need to encourage themselves to step out. So,
God, now.
We are a part of this country, and if we want to make ourselves heard, we need to be there to be heard.
And when when did you first hear, Dane, about John Lewis and about his advocacy? When did you first become aware of John Lewis, and what did that mean to you when you heard about who he was? I
learned about him first in history class through my own research, and I'd honestly say the biggest thing I learned from him is that the most powerful no can be the biggest yes for our democracy.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Josh, the same question. When did you first hear about John Lewis?
Growing up here in Alabama, you can't be at a school without learning John Lewis. But I actually learned about him the very first time he visited my elementary school.
Oh, come on.
And he told a story of walking on the bridge. And he was telling us how we're the next bridge walkers. And that stuck with me forever. And so just quick, funny story, Congresswoman Terry Sewell was doing an event here in Alabama, and I think it's their annual privilege that all the Congress people come down. And so I'm leaving out of the 16th Street Baptist Church, and John Lewis is literally walking up the steps, and he stops me, and he says, "You look like a bridge walker."
Oh, come on. No, he did not.
I remember that. And so that picture that he and I have that we took that day, I keep that as a memory. And so joining TJC, in the very first day I saw that TJC John Lewis bus, I lit up and said, I'm about to make some real good trouble because I'm in good company with John Lewis by my side. So I'm excited about this because of learning who he was and meeting him and continuing his legacy of good trouble.
Wow, that's quite a story. I'd never heard that. Adrian, when did you first learn about John Lewis?
Well, being out here in Georgia, that kind of comes with being here. Honestly, I mean, Josh, I completely understand what you said because, like, you you don't go around not knowing about John Lewis. But I will say the first time that he really stuck out prominently to me, and where it was more of a concentrated effort to teach me, was after I watched the movie Selma.